As a continuation to our previous analysis on Bluejet, let's look at the third segment, which is pharma intermediates. The revenue contribution from this segment for the last year was 45%. The sales increased from 9 crores in financial year 2024 to 46 crores in 2025, which is a five-fold increase. So we will be analyzing where the growth has come from and whether this growth is sustainable. In this segment, the company has collaboration with innovator pharmaceutical companies and MNC generic companies. They manufacture intermediates that are building blocks for drugs. They are used in chronic therapeutic areas like cardiovascular system, central nervous system, and oncology. The bulk of this growth has come from collaboration with an innovator, SEBI Therapeutics, for the sale of intermediate for a patented cardiovascular drug, bempedoic acid, for the reduction of LDL cholesterol. The drug is available in two combinations, bempedoic acid alone as Nexletol and bempedoic acid plus acetamide as Nexlizet. Daiichi Sankyo is experienced partner in European Union and they sell the drug as Nilemdo and Nustendi. The retail prescription for the drug has increased from almost 60,000 in Q1 2021 to 220,000 in Q1 2025 as per Experience Investor presentation. For US companies, generally financial year is same as calendar year. The growth in Q1 2025 was only 2% over Q4 2024. It was mainly due to seasonal headwinds. However, early Q2 trends indicate an 8% growth in prescription volume over Q1 of 2025. If you have a look at their European partner, Daiichi Sankyo's financials, the revenue from sale of Nustendi and Nilemdo doubled in 2024 over the previous year. Let's first have a look at what this drug is for. Nexletol and Nexlizet tablets are oral once daily non-statin medicines which were approved in 2020 by US FDA to reduce LDL cholesterol or bad cholesterol in patients who genetically has abnormally high levels of cholesterol or patients with established cardiovascular disease. In addition to maximum tolerated statin therapy, as per the company's presentation, Nexletol alone can reduce LDL cholesterol by 17 to 18% and Nexlizet can reduce LDL-C cholesterol by 38%. Statin therapy is the primary medication for adults to lower blood cholesterol. The major drugs used in statin therapy are atorvastatin, rosuvastatin, and simvastatin. Atorvastatin, marketed as Lipitor by Pfizer, was one of the best-selling drugs of all time. Lipitor has gone off patent in 2011. It is estimated that annual global sales of statins in 2024 was roughly around 19 billion US dollar, and it's growing. As per American Heart Association, high-intensity statin therapies can reduce LDL cholesterol by up to 50%. In such a situation, when generic statins are available with higher efficiency, why would doctors opt for bempedoic acid? The reason for this is statin intolerance. Statin intolerance occurs when a patient is unable to continue to use a statin because of the development of a side effect. The most common side effects are muscle aches, pains, weakness, or cramps. As per a National Lipid Association study, statin intolerance of some degree is reported in 5 to 30% of patients, and approximately 60% of the adults reported muscle symptoms as the primary reason for discontinuing the medication. Statins and bempedoic acid act differently in the sense that statins inhibit HMG-CoA reductase, while bempedoic acid inhibits ATP citrate lyase. The difference is that bempedoic acid acts in liver only compared to statins, which has some effects on muscles as well. This is why bempedoic acid is associated with fewer muscle-related side effects, which makes bempedoic acid a good treatment for statin-intolerant patients. Now that we have understood what the drug is, let's try to understand the reason for the increased sales for bempedoic acid, which has helped Bluejet increase its revenue. The first reason for this growth is the expanded label usage approval for primary prevention the drug received in Europe and US in 2024. Esperion has been indicating the significance of this approval in many recent investor conferences. With this approval, the drug can be used for primary and secondary prevention. Primary prevention refers to actions taken to prevent the onset of cardiovascular disease in individuals who have not experienced a heart attack, stroke, or other cardiovascular event. It focuses on reducing risk factors before they actually lead to disease. The label expansion can significantly increase the scope of the drug. Basically, with this expansion, the drug can be prescribed to those who have elevated LDL cholesterol levels based on different risk factors like diabetes, age, etc. The second reason for the increased sales is the inclusion of bempedoic acid in various treatment guidelines. According to the American Heart Association guidelines updated in 2025, bempedoic acid is included as a non-statin lipid lowering therapy. According to a recent patient-centered education released by National Lipid Association USA, they have recommended bempedoic acid as a medication for patients with statin intolerance or for those who are taking a statin but need to lower their LDL cholesterol even more. Also, National Health Service in England latest guidelines has incorporated bempedoic acid alone or along with ezetimibe as an option for statin intolerant patients or for those whose LDL cholesterol is still greater than 40% of baseline value even after statin therapy. These changes in guidelines could be significantly influencing primary care physicians, aiding in increasing prescription trend. The third reason for this could be increased insurance coverage. Insurance coverage decides affordability of medicines to a great extent. In US, there is usually public Medicare, Medicaid insurance and private insurance. One of the major speed bumps for the company was prior authorization and step therapy requirements. Prior authorization was required for many insurance for this drug before it could be prescribed so that it is approved by the insurer. Esperion in a recent investor conference mentioned that it has achieved 95% commercial coverage and 65% Medicare coverage, all in preferred status, and many plans have moved from requirement of a prior authorization or a step therapy. Also, the company has increased the number of field reimbursement staffs, one for each region, which has further increased insurance approval. Fourth reason is the increased focus on primary care physicians. They have expanded the sales force to 155 employees to focus on high-value primary care physicians and cardiologists, increasing the new-to-brand prescription significantly. The company also has plans to expand into newer geographies. Esperion has entered into a collaboration agreement with Otsuka, Japan for the development and commercialization of bempedoic acid tablets in Japan. They have also filed a new drug application in Japan and is expecting approval by the end of 2025. Similarly, it has entered into a license agreement with CSL Seqirus in Australia and New Zealand and with HLS Therapeutics in Canada, which should further improve sales for the product after a few years. So far, our focus has been on a single drug. Now, let's look at the other opportunities for Bluejet. As per the company's latest concall, it has mentioned that they are tracking about 20 new opportunities with high client interest, of which 30% are in phase 3 or commercial. In September 2024, in US, a legislative proposal focused on national security called Biosecure Act was tabled, specifically aiming to restrict US federal agencies from contracting with or funding certain Chinese biotechnology companies. It is not passed, but it could have made many US pharma companies to rethink its supply chain. The bill specifically names 5 Chinese companies, namely BGI, MGI, Complete Genomics, Wuxi AppTech, and Wuxi Biologics and their subsidiaries as companies of concern. To get an idea of the size of the opportunity, as for Wuxi AppTech's investor presentation, they have 2,868 molecules in preclinical and phase 1 CRDMO pipeline. They have 82 and 75 molecules in commercial and phase 3 trials respectively. Even if the Biosecure Act is not implemented, even if a part of this pipeline as a China Plus opportunity comes to in India, Indian CDMO and CRDMO companies like Bluejet, Newland, Divis, Syngene, etc. could significantly benefit. This could be one of the reasons for the increased number of requests for proposals that Bluejet is seeing. Even Wuxi Biologic's pipeline is interesting with 21 molecules in commercial and 66 molecules in phase 3 trials. And they also indicated that one of the pre-in project was transferred due to clients' concern on geopolitical dynamics. To capitalize on this opportunity, Bluejet has planned additional capex for an R&D center and a multi-purpose plan with a capex of 40 crores and 300 crores respectively. Let's analyze some of the key risks or concerns. The first one is the high promoter shareholding. The company was listed in 2023. The promoters currently hold a stake of 86% in the company. As per the SEBI guidelines, the non-promoter holding in a listed company should not be less than 25% within 3 years of listing. So, in order for the company to adhere to this, the promoters may have to reduce their stake, which could cause some downside pressure on the share prices. We have already covered the second risk in the first part of our analysis, which was about Divis Labs entering the contrast media business. But with the very long-term relationship with different players in the contrast media industry, this should not be a major concern for Bluejet. Third risk is a competitor for its Esperion business. Newland Labs is another Indian company that is partnering with Esperion Therapeutics for the production of API for bempedoic acid. However, as per the management, they are protected by contracts and doesn't see this as a threat. Another concern is the tax claims. In March 2025, the company announced that they have received a demand notice to pay 193 crores as the company had claimed depreciation on goodwill arising out of merger in the year 2020-21, 21-22, 22-23 and 23-24. The company is currently reviewing the order and will be contesting the demands. The amount claimed is pretty high and is higher than the company's quarterly profits. The company may have to make a provision towards this, but in the long-term prospects of company, this can be considered as a one-time exceptional situation. As most of the growth for Bluejet currently is dependent on the success of Esperion's drug, we should consider the risk to bempedoic acid as well. A new innovative drug, obicetrapib, is being developed by New Amsterdam Pharma. As per the company's latest phase 3 trials, the monotherapy can reduce the LDL-C levels by 35 to 40%, and its combination with ezetimibe can reduce LDL-C by 49 to 54%, which is better than bempedoic acid. However, this drug is still not approved, and the company plans to file for approval in second half of 2025 in Europe and in US in 2026. The company's phase 3 long-term trial PREVAIL is still going on to evaluate the effect of OB on the risk of major cardiovascular events and is expected to be out by first quarter of 2026. Even when approved, it may take some time to pick up as bempedoic acid was approved in 2020 and it got approved for primary prevention only in 2024, and insurance approvals also may take time. This leaves Esperion with a lot of time to scale up their product further. Esperion also has plans to launch a triple combination with statins in 2027, which could reduce LDL-C levels by 60 to 70%. As per the company, they would not need elaborate clinical studies for the triple combo, but only a bioequivalent study is what they need. This triple combo is primarily being done for Daiichi Sankyo. To conclude, it does appear that Bluejet is benefiting from the tailwinds associated with Esperion's bempedoic acid. With approval of the drug for primary prevention and many insurance reimbursement related issues out of the way, the drug may start taking off significantly. Also, approval of the drug in new geographies along with the launch of triple combo product should help in Bluejet sales of its intermediate in the next couple of years. As per Esperion, more and more primary care physicians are prescribing the drug for the first time. The drug is patent protected until 2030, and Esperion has recently settled with a new few ANDA filers not to launch the drug till 2040, thereby protecting margins on the molecule. The key factor to watch out for would be the prescription trend. It seems like Bluejet's revenue from this segment is picking up along with the final drug sales, which makes the revenue sustainable.